All right, welcome to the Hip and Rock podcast. My name is Kevin and I help musicians improve their musicianship and lifestyle. Yes, this is the introduction for today's episode, and it will be the introduction for all of the other upcoming episodes. So if you are annoyed, there is nothing I can do about it. Let's get into this episode, because in this episode, we're going to be talking about a topic that has been on my mind, and it's actually one of the reasons why I started this podcast in the first place. All right, and that topic is motivation. And if you're reading the description, you will know that I am not a fan of motivation, right? As a matter of fact, today's episode is titled Motivation Will Fail You. Letting go of motivation in the lies of the world. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is, if you look at motivation, right? If you look at other successful people out there in the field that are doing what they're doing, motivation only accounts for 20 to, at the most, maybe 25%, all right? And that's just maybe 25%. And why is that? Right? Take a second to think why that is. I think I actually gave you maybe 3 to 5 seconds, but if you haven't come up with an answer, the reason is because motivation, it's a feeling. And just like any other feelings, like happiness, sadness, anger, anything, the feeling fades away, right? Now, motivation in itself, let me take a look at my notes here. Motivation in itself is kind of like, right, based on my own experience and other people's experience, it's kind of like a happy high, right? It's kind of like a happy feeling. Let's say that you want to get in shape, okay, and then you go, you go online, you search for a fitness course, you buy the fitness course, and then all of a sudden, you picture yourself in this amazing, great shape that you've always wanted to be in, right? And then, you get happy because you're picturing yourself in that specific physique. You're picturing yourself accomplishing your goals. And that makes you happy, that makes you feel excited, that makes you feel like you're ready to take on the journey that's ahead of you. And you end up feeling happy for, let's say, maybe the rest of the day, right? If not, a few hours. And during those particular hours, in your mind subconsciously, you've already achieved your goal. You've already pictured yourself overcoming that particular journey. And there is nothing wrong with that. As I said, it's motivation. It's, you may need it for your success in your journey, but it's not everything. Okay, and let's say that after that day is gone, you've imagined yourself in that particular great shape, and then next thing you know, tomorrow comes along. And then tomorrow, while life gets in the way, there may be other things in your mind. There may be something else that's happening in your environment that changes your mood. And because it changes your mood, then it changes your feelings. And let's say that you're not feeling happy, right? Let's say that you're feeling sluggish. Let's say that you're feeling, that you're feeling, like you're overwhelmed, or let's say that you're simply feeling like you want to do something else, then your chances are that you're probably going to do something else. Because that particular feeling, right, that particular feeling of motivation or feeling happy, excited, only comes once, if not twice, maybe 3 times. And that's throughout the course of your journey. You're not gonna be having that same feeling every single day. And unfortunately, that is what a lot of people tend to think, right? All feelings are temporary. I have to look back at my notes because there are some points that I wrote. But all feelings are temporary, and the other I believe part of the title was The Lies of the World, and as a matter of fact, I do call it Lies of the World because a lot of people for some reason, a lot of, like, it wasn't just me in the beginning, but a lot of people, they think that they have to be motivated to start something. They have to be motivated every single damn time whenever they're doing what they want to do, and that is bullshit. Because as I said, you're not gonna be feeling that same way all the time, right? Because let's say, another example, let's say you get tired from work. You want to rest. You don't want to go to the gym to get in shape. You don't want to go and practice your instrument because you have to practice your instrument. If you're going by trying to feel motivated, you're not gonna feel motivated because basically you're not in the mood for it. So if you're relying on that feeling all the time, you might as well fail, or you might as well don't start at all, in the sense. So how do you solve this problem? And why is, before I start talking about about solving this issue, the reason why motivation is only like 20 to 25%, it's because that 80%, that 75%, it comes of you have to rely on your commitment. You have to rely on the reason why you started this journey. Okay, there has to be a strong why behind your goal. Like, for example, for me, I'll give you two examples real quick, right? One of them is my physique. All right, I have to go to the, when I thought about being in a great shape, yes, I got happy, I was feeling motivated, but there are days in the week where I have to go to the gym where I don't feel like going to the gym. And I have to do it because if I don't do it, then I'm not gonna make progress. And what's my strong why? Well, because I only live once, and throughout the course of my life, I want to be able to be in the best shape that I've ever been. That's my strong why. And then after remembering my reason, I end up committing to what I said that I was gonna do. And when I'm tired and I don't feel like going to the gym, unless my body is physically drained, then I will go to the gym. And if I get out of work and I'm like, you know what, I'm just so tired, I'd rather go home and just lay down, I would say, you know what, I want to make a change in my life. I am serious about this, and I said that I want to be in the best shape that I've ever been, so I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, another example, right, with my musicianship. I'm trying to be the best musician that I can be. I'm trying to be a great guitar player. And yes, there are going to be many great, awesome guitar players, but I want to be the best guitar player that I can be. Because playing guitar and being a musician means everything to me. It's something that I'm very passionate about. And I don't just want to be, a average, guitar player, but I want to be a great guitar player. I want to know my stuff. I want to be able to do I want to be able to play the guitar licks and melodies that I want to make, that I'm hearing in my head. I want to be able to play the techniques that I like, that drew me in guitar. Basically I want to be, I'm kind of rambling here, but I want to be able to play the stuff that I want to play, and that requires time, that requires practice. And I'm going to have to practice when I don't feel like practicing. I'm going to have to sit down, and I'm going to have to think about what I need to do if I've already finished something that I wanted to get good at, because the journey never ends. Okay? And that's exactly how you solve this problem. You remember your why, and you stay committed to what you said you were going to do. Because commitment and remembering your why, those are going to be strong reasons to help you on your journey towards success or accomplishing a simple task. Like I said, I gave you an example of the gym, another example with my musicianship, the way that I practice. Now, another way to look at this is, let's say that you're back in high school, right? You're back in high school or college or elementary school or whatever, right? And let's say that you had a big test. Okay, and that test was basically, it was a deciding factor whether or not you passed your class or you graduated. Now, it was a big test and you had to study your ass for it. Do you think that most people are going to be feeling motivated when they think about that? In my case, definitely not. I don't want to study a subject that I'm not passionate about, or I don't want to, put in all this time and study. I got other stuff to do. I have to study for other finals and classes. I don't want to, stay awake until, like 2 or 5 o'clock and to study for this test. But if I didn't study if you didn't study for that test, then you would have failed the test and you would have had to repeat the class or the year. Now, if you look at that example, there is a strong why there. There is a strong reason there. Okay, obviously we're not gonna feel motivated to study for the test, but we know we have to, because otherwise, if we don't study for the test, then we're gonna fail. We're not gonna pass the class, and we're not going to graduate. And that's when you think about that, you stop thinking about trying to feel motivated, and you just show up and then you put the work, whether or not you feel like it, whether or not you're feeling a little bit tired, whether or not you want to do something else. And in that moment, let's say that you had to make a choice, and you could have chosen to not study for the test and do whatever, or you could have chosen to, or you had the other option, which is to suck it up, study, and pass your class. So because because you have that strong why, you chose to study and pass, and so therefore you pass your test. And remember, I personally, when I was put into that spot, that's the choice that I had to make, because I didn't want to fail the class, and I wanted to graduate. So I had to put in the time. And another example is, think about going to work, right? Think about going to work. Do you think that every day you're going to feel motivated and excited to go to work? Oh man, I get to work a 9 to 5 shift today, and I'm going to make money so I can pay my bills. Or I'm going to get all this money so I can buy whatever it is that I want to get. I feel motivated to go and work maybe 8 days a week, or actually 7 days a week, or 6 days a week. You get the point. I don't know a lot of people like that, and if there are people like that, then that's awesome. But me personally, I'm not motivated to go to work every single day. As a matter of fact, there are other things that I'm doing outside of work, such as this podcast and other projects that I have, that I don't want to go to work. Or sometimes if it's a nice day, I want to go out for a hike and I don't want to go to work. And if I don't go to work, then that means that I'm not going to have income, and I'm not going to have money that I need. So what do? Well, I have to make a choice. Either suck it up, go to work and do what I have to do, and try to go on a hike and try to finish my projects at another time. Because at this point, my strong why is the fact that I have to keep making money to sustain myself until all of my projects are able to, or my projects and my businesses are able to take care of their own, or they're able to grow, in a sense. But until then, I have to do what I have to do. I can't believe the amount of people that rely on motivation. It's sick. It's crazy, and that's why I'm shining a light on this topic. And if you have been relying on motivation, I am calling you out. Because if you're listening to this episode, then that means that there are goals in your life that are important. And in order for us to get to the next level, we have to forget about motivation. We have to rely on a strong reason behind our goal, and we have to rely on our commitment. And what's another great important tip is, if you can, then change your environment as well and try to change your routine. Like for me, what I'm doing now actually is I decided to wake up earlier each day to practice. And I want to, obviously I'm not going to be able to practice every day, so my goal is going to be to practice guitar for 4 days a week. And by practicing, I don't mean just, wake up and jam and play or whatever, but actually practice my finger exercises that I need, practice the licks that I want to get better at, practice music theory, practice getting to know my instrument. And what does that look like for you, right? What does that look like in your instrument or in your area of expertise? And honestly, when I don't feel like getting up, well, is it worth it for me to not wake up, stay in my bed, and miss an hour of practice, miss an opportunity to make progress on my instrument, miss an opportunity to be the best guitar player that I can be? Fuck no. I'm gonna make the effort to get up and continue practicing, because my goal is more important to me. And I'm gonna leave you with that. Remember, if you come across a what's the word that I'm thinking about? Sometimes I think about words and they always leave my head anyways. But if you don't feel like sticking to your goal, remember your why. Remember the reason why you started your journey, and commit to your journey. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for listening to the Heaven of Rock podcast. Remember to subscribe, and I will see you in the near future.